you ever noticed that your best work usually happens when you're not thinking about the finish line, about the results? You've done the work, you have the talent, but suddenly the stakes feel so high that your creativity vanishes, your body tightens, and the joy that brought you to the work in the first place is nowhere to be found. But when you finally stop worrying about the promotion or the work or the award, you get it. Well, last week at the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics, that is what Alysa Liu did to win the gold. Welcome to Corporate Therapy, where we talk about work, performance, and ambition without disconnecting from the human side of success. I'm Paulise, and today we're talking about a concept. And today we're talking about a concept that feels completely counterintuitive: detachment. Specifically, why high-pressure professionals must let go of the result to actually achieve it. Alysa Liu, the American figure skater, won the Olympic gold and broke the spell by refusing to acknowledge it. She later shared that her goal wasn't obsessing over the medal, it was showing her skating, her art, the performance she trained for. And for high professionals, this is just a sports story. It's a masterclass in regulated ambition. In the corporate world, we are taught to be outcome-oriented, and I hear it every day with all my coaches. We try KPIs, quarterly targets, bonuses, but there's a biological trap here. When your brain obsesses over the result, it views any small deviation as a threat. As you can see in the Yerkes-Dodson curve that you will see the link in the description of the podcast, there is an optimal level of pressure. But once you cross that line into outcome obsession, your performance drops off. Why? Because the threat of not winning triggers a lot of things. Muscle tense. Fluidity is totally lost. Cognitive flexibility drops. You play it super safe instead of playing it smart. And I've seen it in my tennis. Creativity narrows. You follow a checklist instead of finding the flow, the normal flow in whatever you're doing. In other words, the very systems required for excellence, doing everything automatically, began to shut down. This is why talented professionals can choke during bold presentations. The pressure to succeed becomes the very thing that prevents it from being successful. I know this struggle very well because I've lived it on both sides. In my past as a competitive figure roller skater when I was a kid, I also was a victim of the performance trap. I wanted to win so badly. I wanted to go to the nationals, and that strangled my own talent. I was doing the same performance in the club perfectly, and then I was going to the competition. One day I was doing it amazing, and the other day I was terrible, like falling twice. The same thing that happened to Malinin, the other American figure skater. I was really skating for a prize, not for the joy of the movement. But today, I try to approach my work and my hobbies through a lens of curious leadership. Of course, it's really hard, but it's worth trying. Instead of asking, how do I secure this outcome? I ask, what can I learn about my craft in this moment? When you shift from fear of failure to curiosity and learning, you reclaim the mental energy that was being really wasted on anxiety. So, how do you actually practice detachment without losing your drive for success? It comes down to process over price. Before your next high-stakes board meeting or product launch or match, try shifting your internal dialogue. First, set process goals, not threat goals. So instead of, I must close this 1 million deal, try, I want to execute a pitch that solves this client problem, which is the process. Focus on the controllables. In a high-stake meeting, you cannot control the CEO's mood. There's many things that you cannot control. So you can control your breath, your preparation, your clarity. Breath. Keep the nervous system in a performance state. This is the first step in my ABCD of self-talk that I discussed in previous podcast. Focus on the preparation quality. Trust the work you've already done all these years, and the previous hours, everything that have taken you to this moment. And also focus on connections. Focus on the message, on what you're doing, not the result. This is the part that you cannot control. You cannot control if they will like what you say. You can control how you say it in the best way possible. And last, I would like you to urge you to do a 5-minute reflection. At the end of the project, don't just ask, did we win? Really ask, what did the process teach us? Learn from it. This is what I call setting goals with compassion, like I also shared in another podcast before. It's acknowledging your real capacity and reducing the emotional friction of guilt, your own guilt, your own pressure. Remember, people who practice self-compassion actually persist much longer and recover much faster from setbacks. So the paradox is really simple. The more you need the result, the farther away it stays. The moment you decide the art of the work is enough, the results start to catch up to you. Remember the curve. Stay here, not staying in the sides. This week, I want you to live with a challenge. Try to be more curious and less attached to the outcome that you want. In your next high-pressure moment, take one deep breath. Then smile, just like Alysa did on the ice, and focus entirely on your craft. Let the scoreboard take care of itself. If you're struggling with burnout or outcome obsession, I'm here to help you. You can book a one-on-one coaching session through the link in the description, where you'll also find my latest articles on curious leadership. Thanks for listening to Corporate Therapy, and as always, try this week. Talk to you soon. Recommend this podcast series if you like it, and hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.